This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, so all going well either this week or next week, who knows, we could get the official announcement for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, hopefully from dispute as well. Now, Anthony Joshua, he says that when he steps through the ropes, he's ready for combat and war. Of course, he's talking about the Tyson Fury fight. We know Anthony Joshua, he's mentioned before that Tyson Fury, he's felt the uppercut before, and he will feel it again when they fight next. Tyson Fury, he says he's going to dominate and stop Anthony Joshua in the first couple of rounds. Now, depending on which side of the fence that you sit on, whether you're Team Joshua and you don't like Fury, or you're Team Fury and don't like Joshua, will be totally dictated by your thought process as to how this fight will go. But on fight night, you're going to be nervous. You can say that Tyson Fury, he punches not very hard and Joshua will walk through him and annihilate him. You could say that Anthony Joshua has no heart and Tyson Fury will, again, walk through him and annihilate him. On fight night, your prediction, you're not going to be confident. Okay, you're really not. Now, is this fight going to be combative? Is it going to be a war? My prediction is no. I like both of these guys. As to who wins, who do I want to win? I'm really not bothered. At this moment in time, I'm really not bothered. I like both of these guys. I never want to see either one of these guys lose. And I'm exactly the same with Dillian Whyte and many, many other fighters. So it's quite unique that I'm going to get to watch this fight without having a vested interest in one or the other. As in, oh, I really, really want Joshua to win, or I really, really want Fury to win. That's not going to be me. I'm actually just going to sit there and enjoy the fight. Actually, I might do a live stream. It's not often that I do live streams, but I'll probably do a live stream on fight night. Now, I see this fight being totally tactical. I don't see this fight being a war. It may have moments, and the longer the fight goes on, we may end up seeing somewhat of a war. Again, some people will have predictions about this fight saying that Joshua, for him to win, he's got to get rid of Tyson Fury in the first few rounds. If it goes past the first few rounds, then Fury will take over. Usually when people come up with this narrative, it turns out to be the complete opposite, doesn't it? It really does. But I do expect a tactical fight from both of these. I don't expect a classic. I would love to be wrong. I would love this to be the kind of fight that I want to watch again and again and again and look forward to the rematch. We know that there's going to be two fights. So that's what I would like to happen. But I think just based on their styles and things that we've seen from both of them, I'm not expecting a war. I'm really not. But let's put this into a little bit of perspective as to how this fight will go. If we go back to Anthony Joshua, he took a loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. In the rematch, he showed his discipline where he can just stay behind the jab. He can box and move and be a boxer. Now, I know if you're very anti-Anthony Joshua, you say he fought scared and this, that and the other. Well, what did he do that Tyson Fury doesn't usually do in a fight? What did he do that Muhammad Ali didn't do in a lot of his fights? Boxed. Okay, but Anthony Joshua's a coward. These other guys are masterful boxers, right? It's just a narrative. Then, of course, when he fought Kubrat Pulev, he was mixing it up a bit. He was being a boxer. He was being very clever with it. And he could show that he can get on the inside and land big, big uppercuts. And he's still got that power to knock out his opponents. Regardless of what you say, he's dangerous for Tyson Fury. Let's look at Tyson Fury. When he fought Deontay Wilder the first time round, he was in no kind of condition. He shouldn't have really been in there. And even John Fury said himself, which I totally agree with, which was that most top fighters would have beat Fury at that point. Okay, but Fury, he showed heart. He showed a lot of heart to get off the canvas twice, especially in the 12th round. He got up. So nobody can say he's got no heart. Nobody can say he doesn't really have a chin. Sure, he gets hit, he gets dropped, but he gets back up again. He got back up against Cunningham. He got back up against Pajek. When he fought Otto Wallin as well. Otto Wallin busted up his face. Otto Wallin had him on Bambi legs in round number 12. Fury was nearly out of there. People forget that because people always look at your last performance. And his last performance was against Deontay Wilder. So the way that he handled Deontay Wilder was, again, complete opposite as to how Fury would normally fight. Fury's a back foot fighter and just nicks the rounds away. That's what he does. If there's an opportunity to get a stoppage, then he'll go for it. But against Wilder, from the get-go, he chased him. He went after him. Wilder couldn't handle it. So now, based on how Fury handled Wilder in the rematch and how Joshua handled Ruiz in the rematch, and of course against Pulev, now it's no longer a case of where before these fights, most people would say, well, either Tyson Fury on points or Anthony Joshua by knockout. I think most of us can now agree either one of these guys can win on points and either one of these guys can win by knockout. Both of these guys have vulnerabilities. They do. Every fighter has vulnerabilities. Fury and Joshua are no different. Neither one of them is the perfect boxer. What is the perfect boxer anyway? I have no idea. But neither one of them are, because they still have their vulnerabilities. Both these guys can box. Both these guys can stay disciplined. And both these guys do have enough power to hurt the other one. That's for sure. But I do expect a tactical fight. I expect this to be a battle of the jabs, to be honest with you, where both these guys are going to be a punch or two here, then on the back foot. A punch or two here, then on the back foot. This can be a battle of the jabs. That's how I fully expect this fight. As the fight warms in and both these guys maybe get like a little bit of confidence or start to think that they've got the upper hand, then we may see a bit more aggression. But hey, you never know. Maybe round number 1 or round number 2, we could have a winner. You never know. You never know how this fight's going to go. You really don't. But a lot of this point is that a lot of people who believe that this fight's going to go one way, there's a very good chance it's going to go the complete opposite. So I'm expecting all scenarios, all outcomes. So when it comes to Anthony Joshua saying, I'm ready for combat and war, he is ready for combat and war. But so is Tyson Fury. Both of these guys, if necessary, they can fight on the inside. They will throw big hooks. They will throw big punches. But again, you see, some people will look at, say, Tyson Fury's performance over Wilder and think he can do that to Joshua. I don't think he can do that to Joshua. If he did do it to Joshua, I'll be very, very impressed. But I don't think he can. He can't lean all over Joshua. Joshua is stronger than Fury. Joshua can fight on the inside. Wilder can't fight on the inside. Joshua has a jab that he will actually use. Wilder doesn't. Wilder relied on one punch. You could say that Wilder is a bigger puncher than Joshua. So therefore, if Fury can negate that, then he can negate Joshua. Joshua doesn't punch as hard as Wilder's right hand. Yeah, okay. Maybe Joshua doesn't punch as hard as Wilder. But he punches hard enough. He punches hard enough to knock Fury down and keep Fury down. Fury punches hard enough to knock Joshua down and keep Joshua down. I see this as pretty much a 50-50 fight. This is a battle of the mentalities. It really is. Some people say, well, Joshua, his mentality ain't all there. Okay, well, Fury also has a bit of a history of mental depression as well and breaking down and switching off in fights. He has history of this too. So both of these guys have vulnerabilities. That's my point. I don't think that this fight is going to be war. I don't think it's going to be a combative fight at all. As I said before, I'd love to be wrong. But either way, I mean, that's what Joshua says, that he's fully prepared to do that. But for me, I think this is going to be a boxing match. I don't expect this to be a war. How I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong on that one. But for me, I think it's just going to be a boxing match, not a fight. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.